My name is Blake. I'm an alcoholic and I'm a drug addict. Um, my sobriety date is May 21st, 2015. So I've been sober for a little over a year now, almost coming up on 13 months. I'm originally from Philadelphia, the suburbs, actually from Bucks County. Um, I came down to Florida in 2007. I was mandated by the courts. I came down here on felony drug charges, and um, I went into a treatment center in 2007 for about 10 months, and I basically got felony charges, and I had to handle some things up in Philadelphia, so I'm back up to Philadelphia, and then moved back down to Florida, and I've been down here since then. Um, and I stayed sober for about 18 months in 2007 up until almost 2009, and didn't really work a program, didn't follow any suggestions. I was really young, and I eventually got high, and I went on a long run from about 2000 and I guess 9 till 14. There were several treatment centers in the middle of that time span. Um, so my drug of choice is heroin, and any painkiller or opiate I could get my hands on. So I started getting high when I was about 13 or 14 years old, and I got high because I was fearful of everything in life. I had no self-esteem, no confidence, and so opiates and ran my life, and I was condemned by this drug. So um, fast forward through through my using up until about it was December of 2014 or August of 2014. I had a really good job. I was maintaining a job, and I ended up losing my job I had for like about 4 or 5 years at a law firm. And right when that happened, that's when things really got bad. I eventually got evicted from my apartment, and I had no relationship with my family. They didn't really want anything to do with me. And I ended up being homeless for about 8 months, and I finally got my mom on the phone one day, and she was, just, wasn't surprised about where my life had come to, but, I reached out for help, and she said, Blake, I'll help you this one last time, and, I've been to 8 treatment centers, about 10 detoxes, and she said, Blake, I'll help you out this one last time, and so she had to pay cash to get me into a treatment center, and this was in West Palm Beach, and then they eventually sent me up to Vero Beach, and I did 30 days in a treatment center, and didn't once I got out of there, I had all hopes of continuing the suggestions that I was taught in this treatment center, and I got out, and I went into, I guess you could say, a sober house. It was me and 2 other guys, and these guys weren't doing the deal, and I got like 90 days sober at that point, and then I eventually got high, and this was in around January of 2015, February 2015, and eventually I became homeless again, and you know, um, basically, my cousin who lives down here, her boyfriend or fiance, I reached out. They're both sober, and I reached out to her, and her boyfriend that she's been with for like 5 or 6 years, and I called this person, and I told him what was going on with me, and how like I had no hopes, and I basically wanted to kill myself, and I wanted to die, and I told him, the situation with my family, and like how, they were pretty much finished with me, and like I broke their hearts again. And this person, mind you, he had nine and a half years sober, and I asked him for help, and I didn't really know what to do, and the calling my mom for a rehab again wasn't in the cards. So he again, he had 9.5, 10 years sober, almost 10 years. And this person suggested me to call Healing Properties. So this guy isn't like just fresh out of Healing Properties. He's been around Delray Beach for a long time, almost 10 years again, and so I knew right off the bat this person is suggesting me to contact this halfway house, that obviously this place is going to be legit, and it's he has good intentions of where to send me. So I called my mom, and obviously I'm broke and hopeless and didn't have any money, and I told her that Mike told me I should come down to Delray Beach, and I told him up in Vero Beach, like, there's no camaraderie, there's no younger guys, there's basically nothing for me up there, and I couldn't stop getting high and selling everything I had, and it was either get help or continue on this path where I was going to go to jail, or basically just wilt away and die, which I was going to be okay with. But obviously I called my mom, and I told her where I was going to be going. So she contacted the person who ran Healing Properties at the time, and I obviously couldn't stop getting high, and I went down. It was like on a Monday, and he's like, listen, come in on a Thursday. I need you to be clean for when you come down. And I tried, and like that day I got high, and then like Tuesday came around and I got high, and Wednesday I came around and I got high, and then Thursday I called him and I said, listen, dude, I'm gonna kill myself today if I can't get in there. And he said, listen, just come down and we'll talk. And I told my mom, listen, I don't know if he's gonna let me in, because I just can't stop getting high. And I got down there, and they opened me with open arms, and he asked me this one question. He's like, are you sure you're done getting high? Before your mom makes this payment to me, are you sure you're finished getting high? And I said yes. And I come into Healing Properties, and I see a bunch of 30, 40 guys, younger guys who looked happy, who were just not looking like I was. And I come into this place not clean, and I wasn't happy about that, so I kind of felt out of place, and I'm doing these drugs where obviously you get physical withdrawals. And I came in there, and my mom made the payment to them, and I basically went into my apartment, and these people let me detox on their couch, basically. When I walked in, I told the guys in my apartment, and they're all, really cool, like, caring individuals, and who are my best friends now, actually. And he told me, he laid out, like, some of the rules that they go by there, and, I was completely willing to do what was suggested, because I knew, like, these people have achieved sobriety, and they've learned how to live their lives as like productive members of society. And like the suggestions aren't crazy. It's like, wake up in the morning, make your bed, clean up a little bit, make sure there's no dishes in the in the sink, and when you first get there, you're suggested to go out and look for a job, and make meetings every single day, and find a sponsor, and and do the work with the sponsor, because the whole point of this thing is to get a sponsor and go through the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, or whatever whatever you choose to do, NA, AA. I choose AA, and it's to achieve a spiritual solution where I didn't have that, and to have this psychic change where my whole outlook on life has changed. And basically Healing Properties, it's separate from a lot of different places, because I feel like down here there are a lot of halfway houses, there are a lot of treatment centers, but like they're in it for the wrong ideas. Like there's a lot of halfway houses where you can just pay your rent. They don't really care what you do as long as you pay the rent. Here, I've seen them, suggest that guys need to leave it, even if they're not getting high, if they're not doing the work as far as getting to meetings, going to see their sponsor, doing the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, and like doing the simple suggestions as far as like, we clean every Sunday. and like they'll ask you to leave because there's that bed that you're using could be used for someone who wants to get sober. um, and also like, a lot of the guys there, like if you're going through something like that's, there's several apartments, and like there's 6 guys to an apartment, and like, we hang out as like a group. And like, because you come into this place, or at least I did, that I didn't know a single individual, and like all the guys there were like so cool, and like, like they can tell when you're not doing well, or like, you can talk to them about, just personal things, and like they won't judge you. And the guys that work there are awesome too. Like you can, these guys have like years of sobriety, and like they know how to stay sober. And like you can talk to them about anything, and like we hang out like as groups, like at night, like we'll play spades, or like, play video games, or just like go out to eat and like do normal healthy things. And like, we hang out at night, watch movies at the apartment, and like, it's just like a fun environment. But like the whole thing is like we're all against, like, in this war of trying to get sober and stay sober. And like it's all like like the camaraderie is there is amazing. And like I found, like, I kind of got into like a repetition of what I did during the week. Like I'd wake up, and go to work, and come home, and like we'd go to the gym for a little bit, and then we'd come home, shower, go to a meeting, and then like we'd grab something to eat. And like there's a curfew which is suggested, which is 11 o'clock on the weekdays, and then it's 2 a.m. on Friday and Saturday nights. And like I abided by those, by those curfews because it was suggested of me. And like if we were running a few minutes late, you give them a call, like you do the responsible thing, like, hey, I'm 5 minutes late. And, like they were cool with that. And like I just followed exactly what was suggested, and like it wasn't a crazy. They didn't have me like, doing anything crazy. It was just like normal things that, I just somehow missed upon that. And like it's a struggle. It was a struggle in the beginning, but like there were guys around me that cared about me and like were there for me. Like if I didn't have any money for food, like they would, make food for me, or like spot me money for food. And like, like this place like saved my life. Like I didn't go to a expensive treatment center or a detox. Like I had guys around me, and I was willing to do what was suggested of me to get sober. And like now I have a little over a year sober, and I still go back to Healing Properties. One of my best friends actually works there now. Just to like check up on guys and like meet new guys, and like I sponsor guys today. And I'm like a man of like integrity. Like if I'm asked to be somewhere, I will be there to pick you up. Or if I say I'm gonna answer my phone, I answer it. And like this place, like like I kind of feel like, if you want to learn how to like run a 4-minute mile, you don't learn how to run it from someone who does it in 8 minutes. You do it with someone who does it in 4 minutes. So like guys who have time, who have been there for a long time, like I talk to them, and I talk to guys who work there, and different guys come in there who don't even live there, who were previous clients, come in there, and we just talk. And like it's honestly, this place saved my life. And today, like, I actually, the 2 guys that I live with now, I met at Healing Properties. We have our own apartment. I go to work during the day, and I still do the same things that I did in the beginning that was suggested. Like, I wake up, I make my bed at my own house, which I don't have to do, but it was suggested, and like, you kind of, you just do what you did in the beginning, which like the directors and like the guys who worked there at Healing Properties suggested. And like we actually at our apartment, we still clean on Sundays. Like we're not told to do it, but like it's just like an easy, quick thing. You clean the apartment, like you sweep up. Like it's just like simple things that like guys, like myself, or I didn't learn and I didn't really care about. But now after getting sober, I do those things on Sunday. Not because again I have my own apartment, I pay my own bills. I just do it because it's just like a repetition. And like I do the same things. I wake up, I go to work, and I come home, and I go to the gym for a little bit, and then I go to a meeting, and then I come home and do the same thing. And like, on the weekends we go out like with the guys who I've all met at Healing Properties down here. Obviously outside of my sponsor and my sponsorship family, which I hang out with those guys a lot too. But like everyone I hang out with now, I met at Healing Properties, and like they're all still sober today. And like I really owe my life to Healing Properties. Like it saved my life. Like they didn't have to take me in there. Like I couldn't stop getting high, and like they gave me a shot, and like I ran with it. And like I suggest whenever I see someone like who's struggling, or any guys from up north who contact me about trying to get sober, I always tell them Healing Properties or Recovery Boot Camp. And like Recovery Boot Camp, I don't know too much about it, but like from what I've heard, like the directors over there, like what rang out to me was like that I've never really heard, and I wish I had this. Like they Recovery Boot Camp will honestly help you like as far as like financial issues and like resumes and like any personal like issues that you are having aside from like not doing drugs. They will try and help you with and assist you with and teach you how to like write a check or like anything like it sounds so trivial, but like I missed that along the way. Like I might have been present in school, but like my mind wasn't comprehending anything because I didn't care. But like again, like there's a lot of halfway houses down here that I know. Like I know some guys who go to different halfway houses, and I question you know why they're there and why they're not at Healing Properties. Like because sometimes like people steal things, and like they're guys who get high, and there's no accountability. And like I know Healing Properties, like they drug test you like randomly, and like that's not going to keep you sober, but like it helps, and like it shows that they care about their clients. um and anyone I speak to as far as where to go, it's always directed to Healing Properties or Recovery Boot Camp. And I've given guys who work there like so many text messages, and they've contacted guys. So I've actually helped people get in there because I suggest it, and like I speak so highly of it. And like anyone who's thinking about going there, I highly suggest it. There's a group of great guys, young guys, middle-aged guys who are just all trying to like battle this war, and like, we do it all together. That's all I got.